The Boeing 747 is easily one among the most recognizable aircraft that has ever been manufactured. The aircraft had its first flight in 1968. Yes, it is almost 50 years old. The aircraft has been retired by many airlines all over the world, although there are very few which still operate the 747. At the time of its launch in 1968, no commercial aircraft was able to carry as many people as the 747. Because of this, it was dubbed the nickname the Queen of the Skies. The 747 also holds the record of most number of people in a single flight. Israel's El Al Airlines holds this record. 1,086 people boarded the aircraft during takeoff and 1,088 people deboarded as 2 kids were born en route. The aircraft is called the jumbo jet due to the hump on the fuselage. We've made a dedicated video on why the hump is present. The link is in the description. Do check it out. In spite of it being designed way back in the 1960s, the jumbo jet is still being used in modern day, although many are being decommissioned. The long-lasting age of the aircraft can be well explained with the design methodologies that were followed while designing the aircraft. The 747 was initially meant to be a cargo plane and was designed with a high wing configuration. It was later changed into low wing configuration. The main reason behind this was because the low wing configuration allowed for much easier onboarding and deboarding of the passengers. It also gave much more space for the passengers in the cabin. This configuration also allowed for much easier maintenance and repair of the engines, as they were much more accessible and closer to the ground. This is not the case with high-wing aircrafts. This gave the 747 good flexibility of usage and allowed it to be used for both passenger and cargo purposes. Another major breakthrough for the 747 was the engine technology. Up until then, most aircraft used low-bypass turbofans which delivered less thrust. The development of high-bypass engines which delivered double the thrust while consuming half the fuel allowed the 747 to be airborne. We've talked extensively on what bypass ratio is and how the jet engine worked in one of our previous videos. We'll add a link to it in the description for you to check it out. The 747 was among the first aircraft to use a high bypass turbofan engine. It used Pratt & Whitney's JT9D engine, which was the first turbofan engine to power a commercial aircraft. The wings of the 747 were more swept and thinner than of its commercial predecessors. Because of this, the total wing area of the aircraft was increased. More wing area meant more lift. More lift meant that less runway was required for takeoff. This enables the aircraft to be used in almost all existing airports without the need of building extra runway to operate it. The amount of lift was further increased by using lift-enhancing devices. The most prominent of them were a type of control surface called Kruger flaps. Kruger flaps are used to increase the total lift area of the wings by rotating a part of the wing in the front leading edge of the wing. The wings also had complex triple-slotted flaps which increased the wing area by almost 21% and drastically increased the lift generated by the wing during takeoff. The aircraft was also designed with a type of design methodology called fault tree analysis. This is a type of deductive top-down methodology which helps in preventing undesirable things from happening. This can be well explained with the help of an example. Let's assume you were on a long drive in your car. The car's tire gets punctured and you stop it. Let's do a fault tree analysis for a flat tire in a car. The main condition is that your car has stopped. You realize that it is because of a flat tire. There could be reasons why your tire has gone flat. One is that the debris on the road would have punctured the tire, or you could have had a tire failure. Since the debris on the road is beyond your control, the tree ends there. Tire failure could be because of two reasons. One is a defective tire, and another reason could be a worn-out tire. From this tree, we can deduce that a flat tire can be prevented by taking a route which has very little debris and also checking the condition of all the tires before a journey. This is a very basic example of a fault tree analysis. The 747 was among the first aircraft to be designed using this methodology. This greatly increased its safety rating. The 747 also had multiple redundant systems for the sake of safety. A good example is the hydraulic system of the aircraft. The 747 has 4 hydraulic systems. Each of them are operated by an engine-driven pump. As you can see from the schematic diagram, a failure of a single hydraulic system results in the failure of the corresponding engine's thrust reverser. Should system 1, 2, or 3 fail, then their corresponding autopilots will fail. A failure of system 1 will result in the loss of the nose wheel steering, nose and body landing gear extensions, the left outboard elevator, and the inboard trailing edge flaps. A failure in the second system will result in the loss of control in spoilers 2, 3, 10, and 11. A failure of the third system will lead to the loss of spoilers 1, 4, 9, and 12, whereas a failure of system 4 will result in the loss of wing gear extension, the right outboard elevator, outboard trailing edge flaps, and spoilers 5 to 8. All other systems are operated by multiple sources of hydraulic power or alternate hydraulically powered systems. Note from the diagram that in order for one of the 4 hydraulic systems to totally fail, both the engine-driven pump and the electric and/or air-driven demand pumps would all have to fail. The probability of all of them failing or even one of them failing is very unlikely. This paints a fair picture on how safe the 747 was. The aircraft was also able to keep up with the pace of the ever-changing technology by adding new variants of the aircraft. The 747-100 was the first variant that was created by Boeing, whereas the 747-800 was the latest one. Boeing also created a pure cargo variant of the 747. They called it the Dreamlifter. It was used to carry parts of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner's parts from various parts of the world to their manufacturing plants, which are located in the US. Since we've been talking about the 747 for quite some time and you've stayed with us till here, we have something special for you. We've created a dedicated course called Designing of the Boeing 747 using SolidWorks. Here, you will be designing a Boeing 747 aircraft from scratch and into a final product. You will be learning the various nuances of designing using SolidWorks. You might not be interested, but trust us, just check out our course page once before deciding it. Well, that's it guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. We'll meet you again in the next one. Until then, bye, and don't forget to click the link.